So remarkable.
Thank
Ivy, you have an organization as well.
Yes, I do. So our organization is called Keeping a Girl in School. It's a community-based organization but operates around the country. Since we are under the Lions International, we can operate anywhere in the world. But we prefer to focus in Kenya because it's definitely our home. So I started the organization in 2019. I was a student at KCA. I pursued journalism and digital media. And during one of our projects, we decided to do something on menstrual health. I didn't even know it was a thing by then. And I was in the university. So we went ahead and we interviewed a gynecologist, and then we got 2 girls and we interviewed them, and then we were a team of 5 people. So we just kept on debating, what are we going to give these girls as a show of thank you for coming forward to just talk to us about their period story. And they were in primary school. So we decided, the 5 of us were going to sacrifice lunch for 100 bob. That's lunch in KCA. So we got 500 shillings and we bought 10 packets of pads. And then we gave these girls 5 packets each. And for me, that was a wake-up call. It was impact. My lunch for one day could keep a girl in school.
Yes.
By just getting them those pads, because if they normally have like very minimal flow, 1 packet can last them a month. Of course, most of the times you need 2 or at least 1.5. But I was like, my one lunch, lunch is not even a main meal.
No,
anyone can go without lunch, but my lunch made sure that those girls for the next 5 months they didn't need pads. And that is why I do it, because I know the impact a pad can do for a girl, and I don't need to get the government or someone else to just come help me. I can do it. My one lunch with 5 of my friends, we could be able to do it. So that is why I do it, and we encourage our community to just come forward and help us. And that is why we have a hashtag called Chwania Pads. So I go to my friends, like university students and other students, and just ask them to give me 50 shillings a month. When you give me your 50 bob, 1 girl can be able to get a pad. If I have 100 people sacrificing 50 bob for 1 day, 1 month, that is 100 girls.
Yes.
That is now what we do.
And clearly these girls don't even have to go the extra mile to do some other things.
Yes.
Exactly. To actually get the pads.
Yes.
That is interesting. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Ivy.
Yes.
You've had this young girl, you've given her pads, and she's sustained herself for the 5 months.
Yes.
What happens after the 5 months?
So that is a very good question, because even if we continue giving these pads even for 6 or 7 months, how do we achieve sustainability?
Yes.
So for us, we are adopting reusable pads. So we get them, we go and buy the materials and then make them ourselves. And then, because now when we make them, it's a bit cheaper rather than buying them, because they are quite expensive.
Yes.
That one, they are very expensive. So we normally go get the pads, and then after we buy the materials and make the pads, we now identify a community, a needy community. Because one thing I have come to understand is that it's not just the pads missing. There is no information. There is absolutely no information. So creating awareness is number 1. Every day, even if you do not have those pads, even if sometimes we don't have the money to go and give those pads, we make sure we go out there and give them information. So this is how our activities run. In the morning, we normally have a mentorship session. So we identify a community, then go either on the last or second last weekend of a month, and we spend a whole day in a particular community. Why am I saying a community? Because we don't just talk to girls about periods. We talk to girls and boys. If I stay in my dress now and there's a guy in the room, chances are he's going to come to you and tell, "Endo wambie Ivy amestain." I don't want him to do that. I want him to be comfortable and just come and tell me, "Hey girl, you have a stain."
Yes.
Because it's normal. Let's talk periods. It's normal. So after the session, so now we educate them about menstrual health. We tell them about period signs and symptoms. Ni ukweli watu wanafaa kula chocolate. Is it true or is it a lie? Those kinds of things. And they ask all sorts of questions. Then now in the afternoon, we sit down in groups and make reusable pads. I go out
together with the community.
Yes, together with them. Now, apart from what we brought, we buy materials, t-shirts, bed sheets, the pillowcases, to just show them that you can make them from even the items in the house. You don't need me to come and bring you the materials. You can get them yourselves. So now we make the reusable pads together, and these reusable pads that we are going to be giving them can sustain them for 2 years. And now, after showing them how to make their own, we have empowered them. They can make them forever. If you want to start a business of doing reusable pads in your community, that's on you. You have the information, you have the knowledge,
You have been
the
empowered enough.
Yes, we empower them, and that is now how we achieve sustainability.
But then I'm curious, considering that these individuals don't have the information or even the sources to go and buy the pads, they have to make them.
Yes.
Do they have the ability to maintain the cleanliness to maintain these pads?
Yes, they do. Why? If right now I stain on my panty, am I going to throw it away?
No.
I'm going to wash it. It's the same. That pad, you're supposed to wash it. No wanike kwa jua. We insist. Hang it outside and make sure it is dry. And we give them several, like 9. If you have 9 reusable pads and you use 3 in a day and 1 for the night, you still have like 5 more.
Yes.
So now when you wash these ones, they can stay a whole day outside drying, and then now you can use the other cycle just like that and like that. So mainly it is information again. Because even the cleanliness, it's part of the information. When we create awareness and give period information, because menstrual hygiene is very, very, very important. To maintain that high standard of hygiene, very important. Yes.
I'll pose the same question to Yasmin. Once the activities you have, I'd like Ivy to tell us what are some of the challenges you've gone through in your organization in terms of, you know, trying to sustain giving these girls pads, trying to give them information, the knowledge in the communities. What are some of the challenges you face?
Challenge number 1 is always money. There is no money. We don't have enough money. I am just a student. How am I supposed to get money to buy girls pads every single month?
Sure.
So that is mainly our main challenge. But again, there is something I tell myself, that I am not limited to money. Money cannot limit me.
Sure.
I can go out there and just talk about pads and even not give them when I don't have them. Another challenge can be the traveling from one place to another can be a bit tricky. I remember, like, we had a project in March where we went to Kuria. Kuria is in Migori County at the border of Kenya and Tanzania. I remember being sick, very sick, after coming back. I even had my periods there because the weather just changed and it's a different location. So zilinikuta too off guard. Yes, that can be a challenge, location and just getting sick every time when you travel to a different place, because CC, we operate all over the country. Another challenge can be getting volunteers. Sometimes it's hard because, like,
everyone expects payment.
Yes, everyone expects payment. We even had people who are like, we have been here for a whole day, where is our money? But again, there are people who just come with you 100%. I have such an amazing team. When we went to Korea, we were 14 people, 14 ladies and gentlemen who just sacrificed their work and took their own money because they had to facilitate for their transport, food, and accommodation for all those 4 days we were in Korea. They were with me. Nobody asked me for a single cent. So even sometimes when money is a problem, we get people who are very nice and they can be able to come forward for free. Again, because now you do the reusable pads. Also, Aruna has been donating to us from Together for Better. She's an amazing, amazing woman. Thank you so much, Aruna. So getting the materials can be a challenge. Like now, I have been sourcing for a particular material for like 4 weeks, because we need specific materials for the reusable pads. A certain cotton, there's cotton flannel, there's cotton fleece, there are different cottons. So that can also be a challenge. So to people who might be able to be having access to these materials, please reach out to us. 1 meter can do something.
True.
1 meter can do something.
A lot, actually,
yes.
Because if I mean, how many pads can you create out of
with
a meter?
1 meter I can get like 5.
Yeah.
So even if it's 1 meter that you have, that is going to be very good for us. Another thing can be language barrier.
I was actually about to ask how about the language barrier.
Yes, sometimes it's a very big challenge. Even when we went to Korea, we had one of the moms who was speaking to them in Korea so that they can be able to understand. It's different when someone talks to you in Korea. Like, I can't go to Kibera and try to do my English.
No,
I have to go to Sheng, niwaongelesha na Kiswahili ndio waget. So language barrier is sometimes a problem, but I wouldn't say a problem, a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about the community reception? How is all this information received?
Yes, that one is also a very big challenge. I remember we went somewhere and someone was like, do we really need them? Like, we are doing okay. I won't say they are ignorant, I'll just say they don't know. Because they were like, we don't need that kind of information. See, we are okay. But in the real sense, they are not. Every community, we are not at a place that we can say we are period informative. Like, we are doing very great when it comes to periods. So that is normally a challenge. You can't, there are some places we can't even tell them we are coming to donate pads. We will tell them we are coming there for a mentorship session. so that you can have both boys and girls.
Because I'm trying to imagine some communities where you are not allowed to talk about menstruation and periods at all.
Yes, we have such communities, and that is what we do. Sometimes just call and say, just tell them you're coming for a mentorship session, then we go ahead and talk about periods. And even there are some places when you go to talk about periods and they tell you, please don't tell my students about sexual health, don't talk to them about sex. It's a one. Yes, you're given a warning. You know, normally when you get to an institution, you go to the principal's office. Or
what are you going to talk about?
Yes, what are you going? Please don't tell my students about sex. But now when we don't tell them,
what is normally their reason?